Okay, so I'm getting to this a little later than I'd like to, but I just straight up didn't see any of the tweets about it. My bad. Cam Reddish is going to the Knicks. Top 18 protected, Hornets first. That's basically the move. Kevin Knox is going, Solomon Hill's moving. There's a second round pick in there. But for the sake of conversation, it's basically Cam Reddish for a top 18 protected first, which as of right now is like kind of on the bubble because the Hornets are like right around 17, 18 if the draft was today. Hawks fans do not like this move because they're just basically like, this is the most we get for Cam Reddish. And it's understandable. I mean, you'd think if Atlanta packaged Cam Reddish with Gallo, who is not technically an expiring, but basically an expiring because next season's only $5 million guaranteed on his contract, that you could have gotten a player back who could help you out right now. And to me, Atlanta, I mean, they need to get more lucky with health and safety. They also need DeAndre Hunter to be healthy, and that can give them some more defense. But I think, and I said this in the video yesterday, I think they could use an on-ball defender who can change the culture for them, especially with perimeter defense, right? And you just lost one of your assets. Now, you gained an asset back with this first-round pick, and it is possible that this is what the move is going to look like for them to make a trade that can help them out right now. It's this Hornets pick plus the Gallo contract plus whatever else you might want to deal. I don't think they're going to go too wild. I don't believe any of the little noise there's been about John Collins, which really was just like conversations on Twitter, really. So if you are an Atlanta fan and you're just outraged that Cam Reddish is gone for what you may deem as nothing, there's a chance it's not nothing, okay? There might be another move coming. There's also a chance, I know, this is a crazy one, maybe the guy they end up drafting, if they keep this pick, ends up being pretty good. I don't know. There's a chance this pick gets traded on draft night. I don't know. But it's also possible that the Hawks just straight up reset the asset of Cam Reddish because they didn't want to pay him, and they were like, hey, listen, man, sure, he's gotten better from three, but the overall efficiency hasn't been there as much, and the playmaking hasn't developed too much, and defensively, he's not been his best this season. But the potential is certainly there. Anyway, now let's talk about Cam Reddish on the Knicks. Well, the first thing I think about is how Tom Thibodeau just got himself a 6'8" wing with a 7'1" wingspan, who at times has been good defensively. And I feel like Tibbs could be the guy who unlocks all of Cam Reddish's defensive potential because he's going to lay it into him from as quickly as he can that this is how you get minutes on this team. Sure, their defense has not been as good this season, but it's not like the culture isn't there, right? With that said, this team has a lot of guys, and they did not trade anyone who gets minutes. I mean, they just moved Kevin Knox in this deal, right? So now it's another guy who Tibbs has to find a spot for in this rotation, and I do think one luxury here is that Cam is a bit versatile with what position you're technically playing him at because of his size. I feel like he can be slotted in with Randall, and it's not too awkward of a fit, but you could also have Cam act as technically a power forward, if you will, in some bench lineups, and I don't think it would be too awkward. I am imagining a Cam Reddish and RJ Barrett lineup, and those two, if they're on their best defensively, then that could be like a lot of switchability and just two big wings. It's nice to have big wings who can guard a couple positions, but still, it is going to be a bit of a challenge for Tibbs to get everybody playing here. So there's a chance somebody's going to lose some minutes, but I think for Cam specifically, if he's going to be this versatile guy who can, let's say, spot up for Randall, because again, his three has been better this year, and he can take on some more ball handling duties in second units, and he can also just be a defender who you can sort of put anywhere. You know, for a couple possessions, he's on a guard, next possession, he's onto a wing or whatever. You can switch him across a lot. I feel like he's always going to have a place. I do also think it would be best for the Knicks to try to remove as much mid-range from his game as possible, because the three's been fine, and finishing at the rim, he's okay enough. As far as his offense, the first thing you look at is Cam's improvement from three. He's at 38% on 4.5 a game this season. Although it should be said within that, he has been a bit streaky. For example, on Christmas Day, he goes 1 for 8 from three. The next game, he goes 8 for 13 from outside. As far as Cam doing stuff off the dribble, he is a good ball handler. It's just, it hasn't really translated to a big jump as a playmaker. And we'll have to see if the Knicks are going to look to develop those things, or if they're just going to be like, listen, we don't really have the time for you to figure out these pick and roll possessions. Just go stand in the corner, and we might run some down screens for you. We might run a handoff action for you to get you downhill a little bit. and then you can make like the obvious pass, which might be a dump off or a pass to an open shooter in the corner, but we're not going to run a whole lot of possessions through you. So we'll see. I think it's cool if Cam plays off of everything, shoots okay enough from three, picks his spots as a ball handler, attacking off the catch, that sort of thing. And then defensively, that's really where he makes his mark on this team. And again, Tibbs just lays into him like, look, man, you're 6'8", 7'1" wingspan. You can be awesome defensively. The other thing to think about is Cam Reddish's contract. If the Knicks were going to extend him, they could do it this offseason. It's after his third year, of course. I don't think it's a guarantee that happens. We're going to have to see how this goes. There is a decent chance that they would push it until after the fourth year and then take it to restricted free agency and make a decision then. As far as the first that's being moved, I mean, of course, it's not the Knicks first, it's the Hornets, and again, top 18 protected. To me, Cam Reddish is effectively still a first-round pick because he's 22 years old, he's got 3 years of NBA experience, and let's be honest, if the Knicks would have kept that pick, very decent chance whoever they select wouldn't have really gotten minutes right away. I mean, it's not a guarantee. There's a chance you draft the next Donovan Mitchell. I don't know. The draft is what it is. But there's a decent chance they were going to pick somebody who probably doesn't crack the rotation too much. And it's like, why not take somebody who, sure, is not perfect, and it's not a guarantee this goes well, but especially because it's an extra pick, sure. The other way to look at this, though, and I did this for the Hawks, so I'll do the same thing for the Knicks, is this the absolute best thing the Knicks could have gotten with this Hornets pick? I mean, is there a chance that this was the difference between them getting, let's just say, Miles Turner or not? Because that's been the main guy talked about with the Knicks in a trade this year. I mean, if they're okay with dipping into their own picks for somebody, then I guess it's not that big of a deal, and there's a chance that they would be still willing to move one of their guys they like. I don't know.